Hello, and welcome back to the Donghua family channel. At the end of the previous episode, following the grand inauguration ceremony, Hanli officially became a Grand Supreme Elder of the Drifting Cloud Sect, a position he had never even considered in his wildest dreams. The burden of fame was never something he sought, but the power and resources that came with it were another story entirely. Amidst the countless majestic peaks of the Cloud Dream Mountains, where spiritual energy gathered like morning dew, Hanli chose a secluded, tranquil yet vibrant mountain for himself. He named it Falling God Peak. After many days of personally arranging dense layers of defensive formations, from soul-bewitching arrays to killing formations, transforming the place into an impregnable fortress, he was finally satisfied. Standing atop the peak, watching the clouds drift beneath his feet, feeling the pure spiritual chi seep into every cell of his body, Hanli knew that this would be the place to witness his arduous yet magnificent path of cultivation in the future. With the new cave residence settled, a small matter still lingered on his mind. He decided to return to his old abode, a place he had grown attached to over the years, to retrieve his remaining important items and, most crucially, his swarm of pet, gold-devouring beetles, which were approaching a critical stage of their evolution. However, life is rarely so simple. Just as he set foot at the entrance of the familiar medicine garden, a slender figure caught his eye. It was Mu Peeling. She stood there, silent as a ghost, her clothes somewhat disheveled, her beautiful face now tinged with exhaustion and anxiety. It seemed she had been waiting for a very long time. The moment Hanli's figure emerged from the mist, a final glimmer of hope lit up in Mu Peeling's eyes. She hurried forward and, without the slightest hesitation, fell to her knees in a grand salute. Her voice was so earnest it trembled slightly. "I was blind and foolish to have offended Senior in the past. I pray that the magnanimous Senior will not hold it against me. Today, I have an incredibly important matter to ask. I don't know if Senior Han would be willing to make an exception and accept this humble girl as a disciple. I am willing to serve Senior for the rest of my life, never abandoning you, and would not shrink from a mountain of blades or a sea of fire." Faced with this abrupt proposal and somewhat dramatic act, Hanli merely furrowed his brow. His gaze remained as cold as ice, without a single ripple of emotion. He had encountered far too much trouble in his life, and experience taught him that getting involved with women, especially beautiful women, was often the beginning of the greatest troubles. He replied coldly, "I have no interest in accepting disciples. Besides, think about it. As a dignified nascent soul cultivator, why would I accept a foundation establishment cultivator like you as a disciple? For what reason? Considering the small bit of goodwill from our past, I will not fault you for your presumptuous actions this time. Leave." Each of Hanli's words was like a dagger of ice, piercing straight through Mu Peeling's flickering heart of hope. Before she could utter another word of pleading, Hanli gave a light flick of his sleeve. An invisible yet powerful gust of wind coiled up, gentle but irresistible, and pushed her to the side. By the time the bewildered Mu Peeling regained her senses, Hanli's figure had already vanished behind the stone gate of the medicine garden. Inside, Hanli paid no more mind to the troublesome woman outside. His full attention was on his swarm of gold-devouring beetles. The once ferocious beetles had now completely transformed. Their bodies were covered in a shimmering, unusually hard, silvery gold carapace. Each beetle exuded a savage aura, so potent that even he, their master, felt a significant pressure. They had evolved to a new level, becoming incredibly formidable, but with this power came a wildness and signs of uncontrollability. Hanli knew this was a double-edged sword. If he could control them, they would be a world-destroying trump card. If not, he himself would be the first to be devoured by them. After a long period of careful consideration, the decisiveness in his nature took over. He decided to gamble, to continue nurturing the strongest batch, pushing them towards their final evolution. With that settled, Hanli carefully collected all the precious 1,000-year-old spirit herbs, moving everything to his new cave residence, completely ignoring Mu Peeling, who was still kneeling outside in despair. Returning to Falling God Peak, Hanli decided to enter closed-door cultivation for 100 days to consolidate his early nascent soul stage. But before immersing himself in cultivation, there was a great secret he had to clarify. He summoned Silvermoon and seriously asked her about the profound Heaven Cauldron. Having reached the nascent soul stage, he felt he was finally qualified to know the true method of unlocking it. Hearing Han Li's question, Silvermoon, in the form of an ethereal and beautiful young woman, let out a soft sigh, her expression a little complex. She replied, I do indeed know the method to open the cauldron, but I'm afraid the master might be a little disappointed after hearing it. As for that azure bamboo cloud gall flame, it is indeed the key to opening the profound heaven cauldron. No, to be more precise, it is the first step to controlling the cauldron. Only when the master can completely refine the ice flame, making it a part of yourself, will you have a chance to use this spirit treasure. Spirit treasure? Han Li was surprised, catching the important keyword. Silvermoon nodded, explaining an entirely new concept. In truth, heaven-connecting spirit treasures are the same as ancient treasures. This is simply what the ancient cultivators called them. However, only ancient treasures possessing exceptionally immense divine abilities, capable of connecting heaven and earth, could be honored with such a title. And the profound heaven cauldron is a genuine heaven-connecting spirit treasure. Knowing that refining the azure bamboo cloud gall flame, a flame of ultimate cold, was just the beginning, Han Li was not discouraged in the slightest. On the contrary, a glint of intense excitement flashed in his eyes. He understood a simple principle. The stricter the requirements and the more difficult the conditions, the more the power of the treasure would surely exceed imagination. He continued to ask about the other treasures inside the cauldron. Silvermoon honestly told him that, apart from the two incomparably precious heaven-mending pills, the profound heaven cauldron was nearly empty. Over tens of thousands of years of being sealed, the other ancient treasures within had developed their own spiritual consciousness and had long since taken the opportunity to escape when the space weakened. Just when it seemed the conversation would end on a note of regret, Silvermoon suddenly let out a giggle, her eyes turning mischievous. She changed the subject to Han Li's most important treasure, his greatest foundation. Her clear voice rang out, when I first saw that the master's small green bottle could accelerate the growth of spirit herbs, I almost believed it was also a spirit treasure. But after thinking about it carefully later, I realized there was a huge difference. Han Li was intrigued and asked, Oh? What's the difference? Could it be that the bottle's divine ability is not even equal to that of a spirit treasure? Silvermoon quickly waved her hand, her expression becoming more serious than ever. That's not it at all. Master's small bottle, solely based on its illogical ability to mature spirit herbs in a short time, I think that's enough to look down upon all the spirit treasures in the world. After all, no matter how vast the divine abilities of spirit treasures are, they must still operate according to the laws of heaven and earth. But the effect of this small bottle is simply heaven-defying. I surmise that this kind of treasure could only be refined by a great power who has already ascended to the spirit realm, or perhaps even by an immortal from the higher immortal realm. Hearing this, even though Han Li's state of mind was as steady as a rock, he couldn't remain calm. His breathing grew rapid. You mean to say, this treasure of mine could have been refined by a cultivator from the upper realms or an immortal from the immortal realm? Silvermoon gave a firm nod. This confirmation made Han Li involuntarily suck in a cold breath, an unprecedented shock spreading through his entire body. After a long silence to digest this earth-shattering information, Han Li instructed Silvermoon to stand guard outside, while he officially entered a state of seclusion. 100 days passed in a flash. When Han Li opened his eyes, his gaze was even more profound and unfathomable, and his nascent soul aura had completely stabilized. Just as he stepped out of his meditation chamber, Silvermoon immediately appeared with a mysterious look on her face, delivering a piece of shocking news. Master, just half a month after you entered your chamber, that Miss Mu came looking for you again. And she did something drastic. In order to annul her marriage engagement with the Yen family, she desperately spread the rumor that she has already become your close personal concubine. This news has already spread throughout the entire Drifting Cloud sect. Right now, she has been kneeling at the foot of the mountain for over 2 months, waiting for an audience with you. With that, Silvermoon handed Han Li 2 voice transmission talismans, one from the Mu family and one from the Yen family, both carrying an interrogative tone. After listening to their contents, Han Li's expression shifted from surprise to extreme anger. A cold, killing intent emanated from him. He growled, each word seeming to hiss through his teeth. Humph. This woman has some nerve. Does she really think that just because she was my nominal martial aunt for a few years, I would let her manipulate me and drag me into this muddy water? But just as his anger peaked, an idea flashed through Han Li's mind. The killing intent around him instantly vanished, and his expression did a 180-degree turn, shifting from rage to a strange calmness. He glanced at Silvermoon and said nonchalantly, "Now that I have achieved the nascent soul stage, my status in the sect is different. Taking 1 or 2 concubines is nothing strange. Besides, this woman's looks are not bad, and her aptitude is decent. I am a male cultivator, after all. Why not just turn the fake into reality? It would solve this problem and allow me to taste the mysterious flavors of dual cultivation. What's not to like about that?" With that, he gestured for Silvermoon to summon Mu Peeling to meet him inside. An unexpected decision, a move no one could have predicted. And that's where episode 158 of A Record of a Mortal's Journey to Immortality ends. A woman who dared to gamble her life and honor on a cold and calculating cultivator to escape her fate. Will this be the beginning of a fateful connection or a new vortex of trouble? How will the next chapter unfold? Make sure to subscribe to the Donghua family YouTube channel to find out with us. For now, goodbye and see you next time.